A massive thank you to Craig, Granty, Ian, Pulsed and Spar for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 4 of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode Season 2. Yes, once again we are here back at Imola. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday, of course from the Emilia Romagna sprint race, would definitely recommend going back and checking it out though. But today, yeah, we've got 32 laps ahead of us around the Imola circuit once more. This is the first video I'm doing on the new F1 patch though, so we'll have to wait and see as to how things go. Apparently quite a few things have changed on the game, so I've really got no idea what to expect jumping into this one today. But of course, a massive thank you as well to all of you guys for the continued support on the channel. 73k, we've ticked through that now. We're well on our way towards 74,000 subscribers. Of course, the big goal, 100k by the end of the year. So, you know, if you're not already, please do consider clicking that subscribe button down below to help us achieve that target. But yeah, Imola, 32 laps ahead of us for the proper Grand Prix today. We've had a good run of points early on in the championship, and I'm hoping that can continue this weekend. So let's get into it then, here from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters wearing red today, and they've all turned out for what we're expecting will be a sensational event here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula 1 tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Sainz, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon and Valtteri Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Mr. Monaco, Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly, Drugovich, Latifi, Lance Stroll and Oscar Piastri, Schwartzman, Joe, Norris. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the Emilia Romagna GP. Of course, like I said, 32 laps ahead of us here today. No idea why the team want me to overfuel the car so much. We may as well run them. But yeah, let's go with a bit of extra fuel. Of course, we learnt after the sprint race yesterday, I certainly burned through fuel around this circuit. Do I opt for the alternate strategy? I mean, Imola's a really difficult track to overtake on, so I think, yeah, we'll just keep it as it is. But yeah, struggled a bit in the sprint yesterday, so I'm going to up the front wing by a couple of clicks as well, but it just feels like the front straight isn't quite long enough a lot of the time, actually, to make the moves, so we might be in for a bit of a tricky afternoon. We need a good start here. That's going to be absolutely critical today, and the best way to get a good start is build up some tyre temperature, which we will now do on the formation lap with a bit of luck. Well, it is meant to be bright and sunny all race long here today for another 32 laps of the Imola GP circuit. And yeah, like I said, you know, so much history around this venue. Fingers crossed. What's Tsunoda doing? Mate! Yuki Tsunoda trying to get the jump on me before we even get going in this Grand Prix. We're going to try and build the temperatures, line ourselves up nicely on the grid. There we go. Perfectly done. And let's get into it then for the Emilia Romagna GP. Got plenty of cars lining up on the grid behind us, pretty much starting right splat bang middle of the field, but a long run down towards turn 1, 5 red lights, and it is going to be a very long hold, but lights out, and away we go. Oh, almost got quite a nice hook up there in the first phase, but then just got a little bit overzealous on the throttle as we head down towards turn 1 there. Tsunoda trying to make something happen as we get jumped by both Alpha Tauris into the first corner, but somehow find our way back around the outside there. Mick Schumacher really struggling off the first couple of turns, but we haven't lost, we haven't gained anything in the end there, being really, really brave around the outside through the first proper corner of the lap there, and it has really paid off for me as we head down in towards Tosa. Don't want to be too aggressive on this opening. That's super easy, of course, to pick up front wing damage, as well as here goes Tsunoda back up the inside as we head up the hill there. The AI always seem to get really, really good traction through there, but there off goes Tsunoda and almost rejoins into our former teammate Felipe Drogovic there. A bit of a kamikaze attempt by young Yuki, but fair play to him for trying to make the move work as Drogovic now moves up into P13, so we are now in a Haas sandwich. Oh, just confirming, yeah, we have held position there, and to be honest, like I said, I can be quite happy with that when all is said and done there, is rounding through the final couple of corners. I think Hamilton has hung on to the race lead there, but I think Verstappen has got in between him and George Russell. Mercedes, of course, have had a perfect season so far. Not a single point has been dropped as there goes George back on the Dutchman as they head back down towards turn 1, and I think he has pulled off the move back up the inside of the Red Bull. What a resurgence of fun they've had early on in this campaign, but I think they're still side by side through the first couple of turns, but I think George Russell has made the move stick, so we've got to be a bit careful, just losing a bit of ground to Mick. So already we've got a gaggle of cars forming at the tail end of the points there. K-Mag in his Aston, Bottas in his McLaren, Ocon, Schumacher and myself there with Drogovic not far behind either, but look at Alex Albon, able to cling on to Alonso and the top runners early on in this Grand Prix. I don't know if he started on a set of soft compound tyres, that has really helped him, but big brave moves from Alex Albon there as Magnussen and Bottas side by side through turn 1. Bottas pulls off the move there. McLaren, yeah, really are in for a rough weekend as there goes Drogovic. We just half shut the door on the way in there, kind of tell him, you know, back out of that one, mate, as we need to focus on the cars in front rather than the ones behind. Here we go, Magnussen now versus Esteban Ocon as we head back down towards turn 1 there, and Magnussen very aggressively slams the doors. Oh, that's Bottas just in front of him, under no pressure at all. Bottas has gone round in this Grand Prix there, so that now means I'm into P11 then of the Grand Prix as I'm really trying to attack the curbs as best as possible. But yeah, now almost back into the points then here in Imola, but Magnussen, yeah, just hanging on ahead of Ocon that time round then. Not too sure, Bottas must have just got a bit confident on the brakes there and taking a trip through the gravel trap, but yeah, already feel like it's starting to turn into what the sprint race did yesterday, where we just can't get around Mick Schumacher, as that is not the line through Aqua Minerale. Kind of weirdly helped me get a good run off the corner though, as we kind of squared it off. But yeah, Mick just seems to get phenomenal traction out the final couple of turns, and it's just really difficult to try and get a run on him back down towards turn 1. I think, yeah, really our best hope early on here is that Mick Schumacher loses the DRS to Esteban Ocon, and I think he might just have done so as I say that, but Bottas has immediately romped back up to our gearbox as well here, but now we have to go for a move on Mick Schumacher, try and put the car between myself and the McLaren, because that thing is incredibly quick still early on in this season. You kind of got to remember, of course, now McLaren, they really have got one of the fastest cars on the current grid there, as Mercedes still absolutely clear, not only in terms of performance, but also in this Grand Prix. There is gaining on Mick Schumacher back down towards turn 1. Oh, a very, very aggressive move there, but we just slammed the door on Mick Schumacher there. I think it was a clean, fair move nonetheless. As we close in on 1/4 race distance in this Grand Prix, we have now put ourselves into the points and also into the gravel trap, it would appear, but get away with that one. Next up, Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen, but definitely don't feel the car is a strong round here as it has been around some of the higher speed venues early on in the year. You kind of forget Australia now, Jeddah and Bahrain, all very much top speed and power orientated circuits. Imola, certainly not so much. Oh, Bottas and Schumacher battling further behind, and I think Bottas has just pulled off the move there on Mick as we were kind of racing into no man's land for a little time here. Magnussen and Ocon have really just turned it up to 11 at the moment, it feels like. They've even closed down the gap to Sergio Perez and Alex Albon once more, so not too sure what's going on, but I don't think it's going to be long before Bottas tries to move past me. So we're just running a little bit wide there at the top of the hill. So we round the final corners though, back to start lap 10 then of this Grand Prix. I'm not convinced we're going to have the pace to try and keep Bottas at bay there, because a bit like F1 2021, that McLaren is ridiculously fast. I mean, look at that as we head back down towards the first corner. I know he's got DRS as well there, but Bottas flies past me and now up into 10th place of this Imola Grand Prix there. We just cannot do anything against him. I mean, already, it's like he's in a completely different world. I mean, I don't know what's going on at the moment, because I just feel like we've got no pace against anyone there, as Bottas already 2 seconds up the road by the end of the very same lap there. I think we might just have enough to try and keep Schumacher and Drugovich back at the moment, because the Haas car definitely not a circuit that suits them either. But yeah, you know, the likes of Aston Martin, even Williams, seem to be really, really strong this weekend. And I guess this is the thing with F1 22, you know, even more than Season 1, where a lot of the cars now are upgraded and different teams have, of course, focused on different strengths and characteristics of the car. It really has just hurt us around a track like Imola today. I want to try and keep the point streak alive, but it looks more and more like we're going to need a miracle to do so. Really have not had a race like this so far this season, and I hope it's not a regular occurrence. Yeah, I mean, as we get towards the pit window, though, definitely seems like we have got enough pace over the Haas cars just to keep them as bay. Oh, no, there we go. I think Max Verstappen might have gone round in this Grand Prix there. Verstappen down in the gravel trap at turn 1 there. And are we now potentially going to be able to put ourselves back into the points? Yes, we are. The Dutchman with an absolute disaster there. He completely pushes Drugovich out into the gravel as well, so Drugovich will not be happy about that one. But we're now back up into the top 10. It might only be briefly there, as here comes Mick Schumacher trying to have a look around the outside there. Is he going to go drag racing up the hill with Mick? Not going to do what his dad did to, obviously, Juan Pablo Montoya all those years ago. Latifi's now out of the Grand Prix there as Mick tried to turn in on me. We're still side by side as we head down in towards Aqua Minerale. Who's going to give up on this one? It's Mick Schumacher. And round the outside, down at Aqua Minerale there. That was a very, very brave move from myself, which brought all these cars, though, back into play. Things are getting very, very heated at Imola, but all I want today is just a solitary point. That is the goal. Oh, there we go. Albon into the pit lane, the first to blink in this Grand Prix. But yeah, very surprised that he was on the medium tyres there, as Mick Schumacher in as well, just behind us. We're going to try and extend the stint by a couple of laps, just because obviously Piastri now is going to box the end of this one, and they really don't want to screw him over. Hasn't had the best run in the opening few races of the year, but it's certainly getting stronger, is Oscar Piastri. But now we've got Verstappen all over the back of me, and of course I don't want to get jumped by Mick Schumacher. So I think now we're going to see most cars into the pit lane there, as the tyre warning light has now come on, just to notify me that the tyre wear isn't particularly brilliant, as Hamilton has re-emerged now in some clear air on a set of hard tyres. There goes Oscar Piastri into the pits, and we will join him at the end of this one. Well, hopefully not join him, but we will do the same at the end of this one. I hope he's not still there. Round in the final couple of corners, so of course about to make our pit stop in the Grand Prix. Oh, Hamilton apparently with issues though here at Imola, so that might make things interesting between him and George Russell, but nice and tidy on the way in. Hamilton has still got a couple of second margin over his teammate here, and of course George now is going to have to try and cope with the cold rubber as well. As can we get a nice clean tidy pit stop and aim to keep ourselves in the points here at Imola? Not bad, but not brilliant. Mark reckons that's brilliant, apparently. I'm not so convinced, as here comes Max Verstappen out of the final corner. They're still battling, I think, with Lando Norris, and he's going to be close on exit. As we've got to try and put the power down. Oh, this is going to be very, very close there. It's all Verstappen and Lando Norris there. Verstappen very, very brave on the brakes through turn 1, but he has just about pulled it off there as we get a big snap of oversteer out of the first turn there as we try and put heat into the rubber. There goes Lando Norris up the inside as well. So now we've been jumped by the McLaren and the Red Bull here. I don't think there's anyone else that still needs to pit in this Grand Prix. I just don't think we've quite got the pace of these other cars around us. There is now Tsunoda and Gasly behind me again. We've basically done 17 laps and we're pretty much where we started. Lando Norris trying to get the jump on Verstappen though as we head back down towards turn 1. How is that battle going to end up? You know, McLaren have definitely got a faster car than Red Bull at the moment, and I think Norris, yeah, has now pulled off the move, but Max Verstappen never one to give up in a battle. As Tsunoda now and Charles Leclerc are actually all over the back of myself. We just have not got the pace today. It really hasn't been the story so far this year, but today at Imola we are really struggling. Don't know if I've just taken the setup the wrong way. As Tsunoda, whoa, big dive from Yuki there at the top of the hill. That almost gave Charles Leclerc a chance to get a run at him off the corner as George Russell, new fast lap of the Grand Prix, as he applies pressure to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, whatever it is today, we scored our first points here last season, so it's not like I struggle at Imola as a track in general, but just cannot find the flow, the confidence, whatever it is today. While Leclerc and Tsunoda going side by side, disputing P13 behind us. Feel like Leclerc might just be now able to pull that move off, but it has given me about 3 seconds worth of breathing room over those cars behind us. We're still actually trying to wring the neck out of this car at the moment, but we just, whatever we're doing is not working still. Really mount the curves there, that is not going to help me out as we head through the Variante Alta. But yeah, Charles Leclerc now 2.6 seconds back, 11 laps to go here at Imola, and we just don't have enough at the moment. If I can defend from Charles, I will certainly try. But, you know, you look at, for example, Fernando Alonso up in the podium places there, K-Mag, Albon, Ocon, all in the points in cars that I wouldn't really consider much faster than our own. What have they found today that we simply cannot? In towards the final quarter, though, of this Grand Prix. The other thing I still can't work out is how are we so bad on the fuel here at Imola still? You know, I don't know whether it was an issue with doing free practice in the intermediate conditions, but we certainly have not got the fuel calculations right this weekend, because we were way over, and I haven't remembered a time where I've been so bad on fuel usage over the course of a Grand Prix as Charles Leclerc tried to make the move work around the outside. But yeah, final 8 laps here, and we're going to have to spend it watching the fuel gauge, which is not really what you want to be doing there, as yellow flag's out down in the first couple of turns. Looks like that's all sorted itself out, isn't it? Now Charles Leclerc all over the back of me. We might just have to admit defeat here to the Ferrari, because I cannot do anything. As here goes Charles Leclerc, then up the inside, down in towards Aqua Minerale. No, he's not. He's not going to be able to send it there, so we'll hang on for now. We head out the final corner, though. I think this is now going to be admitting defeat here to Charles Leclerc, as the Ferrari, yeah, probably should have got past me a long time ago in this Grand Prix. But I mean, if we can sit in his DRS in the final few laps, that wouldn't be such a bad thing, as what is Charles Leclerc doing through the first couple of turns? There just sits in the way as he rattles over the curbs there. Go on, Oscar Piastri, trying to make a move up past Lance Stroll. Could desperately do with him having a bit of a better run today. 4 laps to go then, and it's really not looking good at the moment. We're trying to save fuel everywhere, and we're still dipping further and further into the red. Albon seemingly struggling late on in the afternoon, but here goes Tsunoda around the outside as we head back down towards turn 1, and we just can't do anything. We cannot afford to battle Yuki at the moment, and unfortunately, yeah, it was a drag race between me and him to the flag yesterday when I ran out of fuel. No, Oscar! Oh no, our teammate! I think he went side by side with Stroll through turn 1 there, and Oscar Piastri has been well and truly sent to the shadow realm late on in the afternoon. He will just re-emerge in front of the gaggle of cars behind, but poor Oscar Piastri has just had no luck early on this season. It really is the curse of the second driver down at 212 Motorsport, but I'm hoping we can hold on ahead of Stroll and Drugovich. This has been such a disappointment. P6, P5, P6 in the opening 3 races of the year. And today, at the very best, is going to be P14. Heading down in towards the final couple of corners then, about to start the last lap of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And it looks like Hamilton and George Russell are going to continue their form of trading a race victory either way there. Of course, Hamilton technically won the sprint yesterday, which may have messed up that rhythm, but can we hang on ahead of Lance Stroll as we head back down towards someone, the Canadian, to the outside? Surely we're just going to be able to squeeze him out there as this we go. We do hang on ahead of Stroll for now there. George Russell, fastest lap, as he's going to come through to take the win here at Imola. 4 from 4 for Mercedes so far this year. Hamilton, despite the issues, does hang on there for a very, very comfortable P2. So Mercedes' perfect streak of points continues once more. They've actually now got an engine warning light showing up as well. So it's only the gearbox, so nothing too major. Might have to take a penalty next weekend though in Miami. But Stroll tries to have a look up the inside down into Aqua Minerale there. We'll just say no thank you to that one, but we just need to try and save some fuel up and towards the final couple of quarters. But I mean, look at this, Stroll and Drugovich both trying to make moves work there as we just about hang it around the outside of Stroll through the chicane there. And I think now that's going to give us enough safety as we head in towards the final couple of corners. But such an off weekend for us, but you have to take the rough with the smooth sometimes in Formula 1, and round in the final corner, it's going to be our first non-points finish of the year, but we certainly still learnt a lot, and that is often the priority.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And that's it then for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off here. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners. So let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula 1, so be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Emilia Romagna GP week. And yeah, unfortunately for us, not quite the results we would have wanted there. Also feel incredibly sorry for Alex Albon, who was running fantastically up in the points all afternoon before it all came away with some Williams issues late on in the race there. But George Russell takes home the dub, like I said. Mercedes just swapping who gets the wins each time around there. And look at Bottas still. Valtteri Bottas still somehow walked away with P3 at the end there to completely ruin Carlos Sainz's party down at Alpine. I might have said it was Fernando Alonso earlier on in the Grand Prix there. I'm sometimes forgetting some of the driver moves there. But P14 for us, a minute off the win. Certainly not the race result we would have wanted there from, yeah, like I said, a very, very tough and difficult weekend. Yeah, just don't know what it was, lacked the pace, and really, yeah, for the first time this season, didn't feel all too confident in the car there. Even Oscar Piastri set a faster lap than myself, which goes to show how much we were struggling right the way throughout in today's race there. But having a look then at the championship standings, we are now down to P8 overall in the title there. Hamilton 1 point clear of George Russell still. 54 points the gap though to Charles Leclerc. in P3 is kind of mad when you consider how strong Mercedes have been at the start of the year. Lando still in P4 ahead of Bottas, Verstappen there, just ahead of Sainz and myself, and we're still somehow ahead of Checo Perez and Daniel Ricciardo at this early stage of the year. Still a handful of cars yet to score, both Haas Alphas, Latifi, Oscar Piastri and Yuki Tsunoda. Constructors-wise though, Mercedes 120 points clear after the opening few rounds of the year. It is an absolutely insane gap at the top of the title there. Alpine jump us up into P5 as well. So yeah, really a difficult weekend. One to certainly forget for ourselves. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And we will return very, very soon. We'll be back, hopefully in fighting form, ready for the Miami Grand Prix. Before we jump into that, though, I just wanted to let you know of a brilliant competition going on, hosted by Imperium Experiences. Have you ever wanted to attend the Italian Grand Prix? Yes, the home of Ferrari, the Temple of Speed, and of course the mighty Tifosi. Imperium Experiences are offering you the chance to win 2 tickets for the weekend and a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel. All you have to do is enter their competition on their site, linked down below in the description or my bio, and you could be off out to Monza. The competition is limited to just 900 entries, however, and closes on the 6th of August, so make sure if you want to get involved to do it as soon as possible. Currently, they're also offering an extra promotion where if you buy 2 entries, you get a 3rd completely free, increasing your chances to win at an incredibly cheap price. They even have a handy guide on their site on how to enter, so I would definitely recommend checking it out, and a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.